Okay, good Erev Shabbos as we record right before Shabbos on this Erev Shabbos Parshas Ba'aloischa, and we are holding in the fourth perek with Mishna Vav and Mishna Zayin, and Mishna Zayin is a really long Mishnah. We are sponsored by the Fisher family, by Abe Arbach, by Yoel Klugman and family, Refuah Shalema for Meir ben Chai Sarah. So the Mishnah tells us, if somebody sells his slave to a guy, that's a no-no, because he's being mafkia him from the mitzvahs. A guy has mitzvahs like a woman, and now by selling him to a guy, he's not going to be able to keep Shabbos, etc. So we penalize the one who sold him to buy him back even up to 10 times his value, and then to free him. Or if he sells his guy outside of Eretz Yisrael, and you're not supposed to do that, so then the new Adain that buys him, if he's a Jew, has to free him, and Yatsa ben Chayr, and he goes free. We don't ransom captives more than their value for the betterment of the world. We're continuing the concept of tikkun olam, and this is the betterment of the world, because otherwise people will capture more Jews if they're going to be able to get so much money. And we don't try to have the captives escape from these non-Jews, because that will cause them to treat the future captives more cruelly. And the Rav says either to put them in chains or even to put their feet in cement. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says not because of future captives, but for captives that remain. In other words, they might get a few of them out, but the rest of the captives will then be treated more cruelly. The difference is if he's the only captive, according to Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, then you could get him to escape. And finally, the Mishnah says, we don't buy back Sifrei Torah, Tefillin, and mezuzahs from Goyim, Yoisu al Kedei Demayim, paying exorbitant prices, again, Mipnei Tikkun Olam, because that will cause them to try to steal more Sifrei Torah, Tefillin, and mezuzahs if they could get such a big amount of money. Mishna Zayin in the fourth parak. If a person divorces his wife and says it's because there were rumors that she committed adultery, lo yazim, we tell him you'll never be able to take her back, because otherwise we're afraid that he might say, oh, if I would have known that she didn't commit adultery, he found out the rumor was unfounded, I would have never divorced her. Try to annul the divorce, and then if she remarried, make the children from the second husband mamzerim. Therefore, we let him know, if you're divorcing her and you say it's because of rumors of adultery, you can never take her back. In this way, he can't make any claims, because we told you can never take him back. Similarly, mishum neder, if he said that he's divorcing her because of vows that she had, lo yazer, he should have to know that he's never able to take her back, because otherwise he might claim, oh, if I would have known that she would have been able to annul her vow, I would have never divorced her. Rabbi Yehuda says differently. Rabbi Yehuda says that the reason why we divorce a woman because of vows is because we want to penalize her for being so reckless and making vows. So therefore, Rabbi Yehuda says it's only by a neder that's made al das rabim, by a neder that's made in front of 10 people, because that's already a serious neder. Rabbi Yehuda called neder sheyadu by rabim, any neder that's known by the public, that's known by 10 people, lo yazer, he can't take her back. But if it's a regular neder that's not so reckless, then yazer, then he could take her back. Reb Meir says as follows: Kol neder shetzarech hakiras chacham, any neder that needs a annulment of a sage. So there, and he says he's divorcing her because of that neder, there he can't take her back, because there he could claim, oh, if I would have known that the sage would be able to annul it, I would have never divorced her. But if it was a neder that he could have annulled on his own, that yalza, then he could take her back, because there he can't make a claim. Look, you should have annulled it. Amar Rabbi Lazar tells us, Loi asru zeh elam mipnei zeh. Rabbi Lazar says just the opposite. In the case of a neder that needs a chakiras chacham, he wouldn't make a claim, because he wouldn't say, if I would have known that she could have been matin and neder by a chacham, I wouldn't have divorced her, because no man wants to embarrass his woman to go in front of a court. But he could claim that if I would have known that I was able to annul it, I didn't know I was able to annul it, I wouldn't have divorced her, and therefore, because of that situation, Rabbi Lazar holds they asked all vows for him to take her back. Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda tells us, Ma'isa b'tzidain, there was an incident in Tzidain, be'echad she'amar le'ishtai, with one who said to his wife, all the fruit of the world should be forbidden to me if I don't divorce you. V'gersha, and he divorces her. So there he could take her back, because there he couldn't say, if I would have known. He's the one that divorced her. So there they didn't make, there they didn't make any special takana. We want to remind you that Shir on Motzoi Shabbos is at 10:45, and remember the passcode to get on with zoomdaf.com is 914408. Again, 914408. The Shir of for the Shabbos table Ba'aloischa about Eldad and Meidad is available. So is the main Shir Ba'aloischa Gems, both in TorahAnytime.com and on YouTube. There's also a Shir on YouTube which I gave in Queens about marriage and shidduchin, an hour and 25-minute share with questions, which is available on YouTube as well. Please remember to subscribe and follow on TorahAnytime.com. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a wonderful Shabbos.